You're very welcome back to Ireland AM. Our next guest is a writer, a broadcaster and podge and rod visionary. She'll never get away from them, will she?
Maia Dunphy is with us this morning. Morning to you, Maia. Podge and rod visionary.
I wasn't expecting that, no.
Well, we like to surprise you.
I haven't seen them in a while. They're back in Ballydung and I'm not cleaning their toilets anymore.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Those years are gone.
Glad to
they
hear
were
it.
bad years for toilet cleaning. Hey, look, you're wearing yellow. And
I am wearing
for
yellow.
good reason, because we're coming around to Sunflower Day.
Sunflower Days for the hospice. So, yes, I got my yellow out. It's actually the 35th year of the Sunflower Days. So, back when you were, what, 5?
I think I was still in God's pocket.
I know.
Yeah, I think I was still in God's pocket.
Yeah, but Elaine and I were for sure. And I think everyone in Ireland knows how important the hospice is. But if you ever have cause to use it, or a family member or a friend, I think it stays with you for life. And my grandmother passed away in the hospice in Blackrock in Dublin in 2008. And since then, our family have been sort of indebted to them.
Yeah.
And these fundraisers are absolutely vital. So the hospices need about 20 million, they need to raise about 20 million a year. And Irish people are so generous. They really are. So Sunflower Days is next week, the 6th and 7th of June. But I really want to say as well, if you don't see volunteers out and about, sunflowerdays.ie, it's so easy to donate online, whatever you can. Every little bit matters, every bit counts. But also, every euro donated locally stays locally to your local hospice, which is great. And last year, they started a new initiative, Sunflower Fun Days in schools. And there's still time to get involved. Again, sunflowerdays.ie. So schools, preschools, creches can register. And it's a really lovely, uplifting thing for the kids to get involved. I was out in Harold's Cross Hospice actually a few weeks ago to raise awareness for this and do photographs. And a service user came out in her wheelchair and she was so frank and she said, I don't have long left. And I heard the kids laughing. We had a bubble machine. I said, oh, I hope we didn't disturb you. And she said, no, Shed, it's just lovely to come out in the sun and hear the kids. And what they do up there is just extraordinary. They're literal angels who walk amongst us.
They are. And look, the hospice, how many people have a fear of them? And yet you go inside and you realise there's this wonderful aura of calmness about it.
It's not like a hospital if people think it is. And you know, in Harold's Cross, they actually built a replica of a pub snug.
I know.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. But there's a wonderful aura in them, as you say. And it's also, I mean, there's respite care as well. And I think what they give is they give people who are there peace and they give families peace of mind. But the care, and also in Blackrock Hospice, they use the pool there for the water babies. Yeah. So once a week you hear all these little babies gurgling and laughing and the mums go for tea in the cafe afterwards. So I think the hospice is very much now at the heart of so many communities around Ireland.
Yeah, and it's not just the actual physical hospice themselves. They have outreach teams, they have people that go into homes, they have counselling services. So what they do is absolutely invaluable. And as you said, if you've used their services, you just know how absolutely and utterly special they are. The support they give us is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, you're right.
Honouring your granny by doing that, which is lovely.
And obviously I lost my mum 3 years ago as well. My mum didn't pass away in a hospice, but having lost her in a hospital, an acute facility, and they did their best. But, you know, you see that, you know, the hospice is set up for palliative care and end-of-life care, and it makes a big difference.
A massive difference. And by the way, I haven't been down to Harold's Cross because, yes, we've lost people as well who've been through the hospice. If you can't get to the bar will come to you. As I was told was the case, there was a former Dublin player who was using the service, and the brilliant Anton O'Toole, and when he couldn't get to the bar, they would bring one drink down for him. So.
But no request is too much for him.
But it's funny because Charlo, our chef here, is the chef down in the hospice.
That's why the food's so good.
Yeah. That's why it's so great.
I know. He take over the whole health service.
But he has said that. No dish is beyond us. We'll make whatever needs to be made.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's
absolutely amazing. But I think as well, when you do lose some of the pain of that will stay with you. As you said, like you lost your mother. We've all lost people close to us. But do you think because of that you became probably more open and sensitive to what's going on around the world? I know since day one really of the war in Gaza, you have been quite outspoken and unashamedly so. When a lot of people that we see who are very prominent in media are only starting to talk about it now, you've been doing it for day one.
The funny thing, Elaine, about the word outspoken is the word outspoken implies you're saying something controversial or shocking or offensive. And actually, I don't think it's in any way controversial to be someone who's saying that what we're seeing happen in real time on our screens, on our phones, is just not acceptable. And I think speaking out is one thing, but I don't think it's an outspoken thing. And I just don't. And you have people who try and push back and say that you don't know enough and you're not an authority, you're not an expert. And what I say is you don't need to be an authority or an expert on anything to condemn cruelty. And, you know, what we're seeing now in front of us, I mean, you think back to Srebrenica and Rwanda and those times in our living memory. And we all said, my gosh, if we had known what was happening, you know, in Rwanda, media didn't really get in for a long time. And now we're watching things on our phone. They are undeniable. And, you know, in the news yesterday, we see 22 new Jewish settlements have been announced in the West Bank. That would have been front page news. And now they're pushing it all in slowly, you know. And as our own president said yesterday, the time has come for everybody to speak up. And I think the citizens of the world have spoken up en masse, and it's really important that we keep doing it. And look, if all we can do is bear witness, donate money if we can, and keep sharing the stories, I think that's really important. Like, I want my son to know that we were on the right side of history. And I think what's happening is, you know, there is a bit of fatigue with the media as well and with the politicians. And we have become so used to this that it's become the norm, and we can't let that happen.
No, you can't have starving children being the norm.
You can't. No.
The word famine seems to have triggered a lot of reaction globally, whereas various governments, various high-profile individuals, they were watching the bombs drop on hospitals and members of the press being killed and the ongoing slaughter day after day after day. But the fact that we can all see this aid being blocked and there's food there waiting to be brought in has seemed to... I know you said there's a bit of fatigue in the media, but in another way it has spurred people on the ground more to protest against what's happening. So a lot of people feel quite helpless and what can I do about this? But I suppose there are ways and means people can make their voice heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that our voices are very powerful. And, you know, it has statistically over the years, if people do keep speaking en masse, it doesn't take many people for governments to eventually say, look, we have to do something, even just to keep our popularity. And I've been on some of the protests, I've been at the vigils, and they are increasing in size. So people are coming together to say, we won't stand back and let this happen. And again, what's happening with the aid and this dehumanisation of the Palestinian people has been going on since day one, way before October 7th. And what's happening now with the aid being delivered in the way it is, it's creating an image of them as being just, again, lesser. Look how they're fighting and squabbling. And I can tell you, and you're the same, if there was insufficient food and my family was starving, I would be tearing down fences and fighting to get to it. And it is inhumane and barbaric. And like I said, if all we can do is keep speaking up and lobbying, I'm glad to see now the Occupied Territories Bill is going to go through. It should have gone through before, irrespective of EU law. You know, what were they going to do, sanction us? I don't think so. But this is getting very serious now.
Yeah. But it's
back to pageant rights.
But it's important.
No, but it's really important,
It's
you know.
important.
Yeah.
And life is relative, and we have to have perspective. But I also think it's really important that we keep speaking up. And also, if anybody thinks, "Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed that I said nothing before now," that's okay. It's not too late. You know, the more voices, I think, the better.
Okay. Well, it's always good to see you.
And you.
Especially when you're wearing your bright yellow for Sunflower
So
Day.
June 6th, June 7th, next week, look out for volunteers on the street all around Ireland. There's still time to register your school for Sunflower Fun Days or donate online at sunflowerdays.ie. Wear your yellow.
Maia, thank you so much for joining us today. A ray of sunshine, as always. Now, we'll take a quick break. See you back here in 3.